right, so I'm here with the crew from the Rainbow Community Garden, and we're going to learn a little bit about seed starting for indoors in March, thinking a little bit ahead to April and May seed starting, as well as talking about the outdoor garden. So Ravi's my first assistant here, so I love the tray of seeds you've got. What we want to think about first and foremost when you're thinking about seed starting indoors is the best kinds of seeds and when to start them. So right now it's early March, and so what we want to think about is things that take a little bit longer to grow up. These are plants that could be started indoors right now on the windowsill. Ravi's going to help me by planting into these little trays. So Ravi, going to grab from the tray some of these ones from the middle here. So what we're looking at is we've got things like tomatoes, peppers, cabbage, some herbs like rue. So these are plants that take a little bit longer to grow up, and so yeah, we want to start them indoors. So we'll put these aside for a sec. And these are some lettuce bowls, something you can do in the wintertime too, but today they're just for nibbling. You want to have a little taste? You want to taste it?
Yeah.
There you go, guys. So when we're starting seeds indoors, so the things that are most important is we want to have some kind of a container that we can put the seeds into that's going to have little holes in the bottom for drainage. And then something to make sure we don't make a big mess on the countertop. And we want to use a soil that's really nice. The soil for seed starting is quite loose, and it's got these little flecks in it called vermiculite or perlite, which help to make for good drainage, lots of air getting into the soil. So what I'm going to get you to do, Ravi, is we've got some of this soil. It's called black gold. It has the peat moss, all those things, but it has a special ingredient. It's called worm compost or worm castings. You want to feel that a little bit? And touch it a bit, it feels good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Soft and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Soft.
nice.
It's really good.
And it's
Yeah.
very good for the seed starting. So when you add this to your seeds, it makes the roots grow stronger. It helps to prevent some of the diseases that can affect seedlings, and it also makes the plants grow really strong and quickly. So the soil that we're going to use has about 10% worm castings already mixed into it. If you had soil at home and you didn't know that it had this added to it, you could add about 10% of this. It makes the seedlings grow really strong.
Okay.
So today we're going to use a soil that actually has this mixed into it. And so Ravi, if you wouldn't mind, just fill those up. When you're filling your seedling trays, you want to leave a little bit of room at the top. So you're going to fill it up so it's just about there on the rim. So basically, you're starting with it's called a soilless mix. It has peat moss, it has the perlite, it has vermiculite to create the oxygen spaces, and then it's going to have the worm compost in it. It's very important to the healthy seedlings. The things we're going to be starting right now are things like peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, maybe even cabbage, some herbs that you might want to grow. So there's lots of things that need a long time to grow up, and they start in March. You don't want to start them too early, and if you wait too late, they might not grow well in our season. So that's perfect, guys. Thank you so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some pepper seeds.
Yeah.
Now, a common question we get is like, how many seeds are you going to put into each little spot? And basically with peppers and tomatoes and any of those early starting plants, you're only putting 1 or 2 seeds per little hole. So what I do usually is I just open up the pack. There's almost always lots of seeds in a pack. And I just put them out in my hand, and then I just I make a little dibble like this with my finger. And you don't have to worry too much about how deep they go in. If you make that little indentation, then you just drop the seeds in, and Ravi will help with this in a sec. Yeah, perfect. So just put them in your hand like this. And then just put 1 or 2 seeds in each little hole. Very easy. And then these will grow up in about 7 to 10 days. You'll start to see the little baby plants growing up. And then these will be ready to put into the garden sometime in later May, at the end of May. They might need to get transplanted once before then, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, and so the other thing I like to make sure is that we write down what we've planted and when, because it's really good for your records and to get to know the climate, to make sure that things are lining up in terms of the timing of things. Yeah, thank you very much. You can pop those seeds back in there. So Elaine, I'll give you some markers here. If you could write the date today and just the kind of variety that you've planted. I know it's a little awkward, we don't have a table, but you can write that on there. And we usually like to use pencil for this because it won't rub off, the sun won't fade it, and the rain won't make it wash off. So it works really well. Now, I'm just going to, while Elaine's finishing up there, I'm just going to show, so we've got the little seeds in the holes there, and we don't even have to try to like cover them up. Just the first time you water them, they'll get covered up. So that's easy. So we can leave it like that. And I just want to quickly show you, we have this kind of magic ingredient. It's called the sea magic kelp. And what this is it comes from the ocean. It's kelp that's dried up. You mix it with water to make a concentrate, and then you add that to your spray bottle, and you put it on your seedlings the first time you water. So I've already got this mixed up. One package like this goes into 1 liter. This is a half of a liter, so it's half of a package. And then from there, you're going to take 1 tablespoon and put it into your 1 liter bottle. So I'm going to get Ravi to help with that.
Okay.
So it's a bit, it can be a bit messy, so you don't want to, I'm nervous because Ravi has a nice light colored shirt on. But basically, you can just measure that out and put it into our spray bottle here. Yeah, here, I'll do that for you. So it's totally organic and very safe and perfect. So you can see not very much is required to make a difference. I'll just borrow that for 1 sec. We'll put that back in. But what this does for the seedlings is it makes those roots grow really strong, a little bit like the worm compost. Makes the stems stronger, helps them with managing water better so they don't dry out as much. So it's really, really good to apply. And you put it the first time you water, right when you put the seeds into the soil. So maybe I'll get Raymond to spray this on. And you just want to just spray it onto the soil there. Excellent. So just a nice general soaking with that. And then from there, the seedlings can go into a nice bright windowsill. 7 to 10 days later, the seedlings will come up, and we'll talk about transplanting in 1 sec.